It has to sprout. The whole world sprouts. Sprout and the whole world sprouts with you. That noise is a collision noise. We spawned inside a solid object, and so it kept colliding. If I hit an object, I get a noise when I hit, which I have turned up loud so you can hear it on the recording. It's quite annoying. It can be used, for instance, to skim along the floor by bouncing against it, and has other uses. For instance, there is a cube of dark blue, and let's see, this should be green. Make it smaller, larger. Ah, yes. Now, if I wanted to draw the green mist into free space a little bit away from the wall, I could strafe along the wall, backing into the wall and bouncing against it. Here, let's try it. So the collision is useful, but I really should come up with a less annoying sound. Here we have the green jelly cubes. If we want to shoot them into the wall, snipe them into the wall, like so. Notice this texture gets more detailed because it's had to split itself many times in order to fit the tiny cube inside. I'm lost. How do I get out? Here we go. There are textures which split when something draws into them. There are also textures which don't split. And those are useful. Notice the blue far away. I used to have the sky outside. Everything was drawn in a box, a cube, a voxel, and the sky was outside, but I decided I liked it better if I brought the sky in. So there is no outside, but the sky is always with us if we can see far enough. Well, let's look at the Albrecht Dürer patch of turf texture, and we'll draw a hole into it, and notice that the texture does not split and become smaller. The texture is unconnected with the size of the cubes it's being drawn on. More collision. Here's a mirror. Let's snipe the mirror into the... yes. Okay, so here is a mirror. I'll make it as large as I can. Here's a mirror being sniped into... I'll make it smaller. And this strafing movement does not follow a 90-degree angle. Instead, it takes the ray at the edge of the window and follows it. So depending on the fisheye, depending on your fisheye, you'll get a different angle. So if you have a tight fisheye, you'll strafe somewhat forward and sideways. which is perhaps preferable. Now, how was this world constructed? I used a lot of noise functions and these functional representation objects I invented. But most of them use noise functions. I took the mathematics behind the noise function from Perttu Ehola, coder of Mindtest, and I adapted the algorithms I found in his code in landscape generation, and they're really nice. Of course, I mean, that's expressed through a functional representation object that I wrote, so. And he probably took it from somewhere else. And here we have another. Here you see I'm bouncing and drawing, bouncing and drawing, drawing and bouncing. Let's make it as small as we can. The distance at which we draw from the camera varies according to the size of the thing we're drawing, which is a nice adaptation. Because otherwise, when you made the cube you're drawing small, if it stayed at the same distance as the large one you were just drawing, you wouldn't be able to see the small one. Well, I'm glad I made this movie. This is really nice. Yeah, I was experimenting with a large world coordinate texture from someone's Minecraft picture of a forest scene. And I was in the middle of that, and I thought, you know, Dur would just look better. And of course, Dur does look better than Minecraft. So this is just a patch of turf. Anyway, I'm just... here's one more thing. I can snipe in, so I sniped in to the surface here. So the thing that I just created is at the first layer of the object that I hit. But the other thing I can do is I can snipe onto where I draw onto an object that I hit, and with that, of course, you can draw in a different way because it accretes as long as you're hitting the cube you just drew as you back up. You have to be careful, but you see what's possible here. And you see why I think that a truly nice mashup of real-time voxel ray tracer, Minecraft, Second Life, Overgrowth, and the very darkest parts of IRC could really be made now. It's actually possible. The reason I mentioned Overgrowth is that although I haven't experimented with the Overgrowth renderer, it's got rabbits in it, animated killer rabbits, and I think that would be good. Okay, so you see that I can build piles of stuff. At different scales, which are related to each other by the power of 3, by the way. You would think powers of 2, since it's computer science. But in fact, powers of 3 are very, well, if you had to choose just one for your world, powers of 2 or powers of 3, you have to go with powers of 3, because a 2 by 2 by 2 subdivision of a cube will not make you a Sierpinski fractal. because an A cube has no center. So I think this was a successful experiment, and I think I'm going to make more movies this way. Although this one has to end here.